Welcome back to another episode of Bear Cuisine. It's been a while since our last update. There were a lot of changes in the last few years. We moved to a new state, we got a cat. We tried to film a few times, but sometimes it just wouldn't work out. Like one time our dog stole our food while we were cleaning the grill outside. But we ended up with a bunch of unused clips.
It's very dangerous.
Even though we hadn't posted anything in the last 3 years, we still gained like 365 followers, like one a day. Thank you for still watching, and we were able to make a little bit of income from the channel each month. Therefore, we thought of an idea to keep this channel alive by having a new challenge. For this challenge, we're gonna reveal our channel's income and try to use that amount to shop for ingredients and make meals with it. To keep it easy, we're just gonna count the main ingredients, not the seasoning, condiments, and all that other stuff. In our old videos, we used to test a few times before we filmed, just to guarantee everything turns out right and tastes great. This time we're just gonna keep it pretty real, so not everything we cook is gonna be a success. We'll show you the trial and error either way, even if it turns out great or if it's a failure. We'll come back and publish the full recipes on the blog for the good ones. If you're curious how a lazy YouTube channel like us can be monetized, just keep watching. At the time of filming this on July 10th, we'd made about $29 for 4,500 views in the first week of July. So let's get shopping. We went straight to the meat counter to try to decide what we could afford. We chose the St. Louis style rib because it was on sale today. We happened to have friends over and we wanted to try to use this budget to cover the dinner for 4 tonight. Ended up with about $19 for 3 pounds. In the veggie section, we happened to see this sugar corn cabbage. It's a little bit more expensive than regular cabbage, but I like it more. It's more crisp and the leaves are a little lighter. And lastly, we got some squash. We actually swapped it for 2 smaller ones later. We realized that it would be better to have the small pieces for the grilling for such a short cooking time. Voila, that's our haul. 3 main ingredients in total with 1 garlic. It's about $25 in total. It's time to marinate the ribs. In some of our older videos, we used to combine different spices to build up our dry rub, but now we just go for the store-bought one. It's quick and easy. To prep the ribs, the proper way would be to remove the membrane on the back, but we took a little shortcut because we're lazy instead, and we just scored it between the bones with a paring knife. That way the flavor can penetrate the meat, and then we spread the seasoning evenly and left it in the fridge for a couple hours. This was happening during the World Cup match day, so we got a little distracted watching the Spain-Belgium game. So we started the grill a little later than planned. Around 6:30, we were finally ready to go. We set up the charcoal in a T-shape and lit the chimney on one side. So the fire would start slow on the right side of the grill, build up as it spread towards the thicker pile on the left, giving us a strong heat zone there for vegetables. About 15 minutes later, once the coals turned white, we dumped them onto one side of the grill to make our hot zone, with a drip tray underneath the cool side to catch the juices. Once the grill was hot and the grates were clean, we sprayed the ribs with oil and put them on. It turned out our 3 pounds of ribs were too big for the grill in one area. One end would burn before the other finished cooking, so we cut the rack into 2 sections to help them cook more evenly. About an hour in, we realized we'd started way too late, and as everyone started getting hungry, so we decided to try a faster method of cooking the ribs that we saw in a book but hadn't tried before. We'd be cooking the ribs directly over the hot section the whole time and flipping constantly to speed things up. In our case, the ribs had already been cooking low and slow for about an hour, and the charcoal being a T-shape was actually great for this because the horizontal part was really hot at this time, so we could just place the ribs right above it. It ended up being a lot more fun than we expected. Every time you flipped the ribs, the juices would drip down and it would kick up these bursts of flame, and you get this nice deep charred smell. But flipping every 3 to 5 minutes is pretty important so you don't burn the ribs. And so it kind of makes you stay near the grill, which is a little unfortunate. As it was getting dark, we were approaching like 9 p.m., which is a little bit of a delayed dinner. Unfortunately, the ribs still hadn't quite passed the bend test, but we decided to move on because it was getting late. For the squash, we cut it in half, scored both sides, oiled it, and seasoned with salt and pepper. We placed it over the charcoal and closed the lid so that the other side can be cooked as well. It took about 10 minutes with 2 flips, and voila, it looks really nice with great grill marks. For the cabbage, we hand shredded it and cooked it in a carbon steel pan. We kept it simple, just salt and pepper. We moved the ribs and the squash into a baking sheet, covered it with foil so that the trap steam could keep cooking in a little bit more. We placed the cabbage over the hot section for about 10 minutes, stirring every 3 minutes so the bottom wouldn't burn. We added garlic right at the end. Unfortunately, since we were a little bit in a rush, even with the speedy rib cooking method, the cook time still wasn't enough. The ribs taste great, it wasn't too salty and just the right amount of seasoning. It had this nice smoky flavor and it was very crisp. Just the texture ended up a little bit tough and chewy. There's definitely room for improvement. It just needed a little bit more time.
This piece is great. It's soft and crispy, smoky flavor, very juicy.
My squash actually turned out a little underdone. We'd given our friend the better looking piece with the deeper grill marks, and that one turned out perfectly. So next time, we just need to pay a little bit more attention where the heat was actually stronger and balance out the placement of the squash accordingly. Thanks for watching till the end. If you like this video or just want to learn how much we make as a channel, don't forget to subscribe and we'll put out another episode like this soon.